Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next panel discussion in NBFCs tomorrow. I'm Manoj Agarwal. I'm the group editor. I'm happy to introduce you to the next session, which is on digital foundation and technology strategy for NBFCs in the world of the new normal. So there are four keywords here: digital foundations, technology strategies, NBFCs, and the world of the new normal. So I think these four combinations are very lively combination. We also have a very lively audience to participate in this discussion. I'm really looking forward to this. I'd like to hand over to Sumit, who is our moderator for this session. So Sumit, over to you, and all the best to all of you for a lively, interactive, and insightful session.
Dear all, greetings. My name is Sumit. I am a director with EY, a digital and tech consulting aligned with BFSI. It's my pleasure to moderate the session, and I look forward to hear the panelist views on a digital foundation and technology strategy for NBFCs in the world of new normal. I would request the panelists to briefly introduce themselves, at the firm they represent, the designation, and the role that they play at the firm. Rachit, if you would want to go first.
Sure. Thank you, Sumit. So, hi, I am Rachit Chawla. I'm the founder and CEO of Finway Financial Services Company. We are an omni-channel platform for distributing all sorts of financial related products like loans, investments, credit cards, and insurance. We have more than 50 plus products and 1,000 plus agents on board utilizing our proprietary technology called SLAP for seamless flow of information right from inquiry to fulfillment. Apart from that, we also run an investment platform called AlphaBot and a NBFC under the brand name of SFPL.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Ashok Mittal. I am the founder and CEO of a digital lending NBFC called Trust Loans. Actually, the NBFC name is Lord Krishna Financial Services Limited. We are into small ticket MSME loans, which are secured and unsecured both. We are actually serving the pyramid of the entrepreneurs who are actually having less access to the credit, and we are trying to support them. Thank you.
Okay, hi. My name is Vijay Kumar. I am from Centrum Financial Services. We are to be a bank soon, and you will see a new name coming to it. And I head collections there. I have about two decades of experience in this space.
Hi, my name is Anish Chaudhary. I'm from Edelweiss SME lending business. I head the product, digital and marketing piece. At Edelweiss SME, we are catering to our micro and small and medium enterprises, variety of loans, and trying to ensure that our economic engine keeps running.
Hi, my name is Mohit Arora. I think I'm the only exceptional person who is not working with an NBFC or a founder of an NBFC here. I represent an IT company called VMware. We are in the business of providing digital foundation or helping the customers transform their business, having a foundation through infrastructure, through applications, and various solutions around that. We're a leading company brand in that space. I'm designated as senior director here. I'm responsible for running the commercial and the government business for VMware India.
Many thanks for your background. Rachit, my first question is for you. What would be the cornerstones of laying a digital foundation for NBFCs?
So Sumit, when we talk about digital foundation, the first thing we need to get right is the technology. So why I emphasize, a lot on technology is because that is the only tool that you can leverage in terms of data capturing. When you have a lot of data throwing at you, the technology helps you identifying with the help of AI, machine learning, what you can do with that data. What is the missing link that you're serving, and what is the end customer need? Where is the gap? So technology would be the first and biggest cornerstone. This has to be proprietary. This cannot be, use it as a pay-on-go basis. So number one, definitely your own secret sauce, your own technology. Secondly, they need to collaborate with the right players. I mean, once you have the technology, the second thing that you need to understand is which kind of companies you would want to collaborate so that you add more value to a customer's life. You might be solving various problems to, for your customers. But if you can add more value to your customers, then you need to have the right collaboration. Although I have laid emphasis in proprietary technology, creating technology, but still doing collaboration is the key here, because you shouldn't be wasting a lot of time in making bits and pieces of technology which are readily available, tried and tested. So second is definitely the right collaboration. Third is what Mr. Mohit Arora is doing. That is ensuring that your technology, your products is fully secured. But end of the day, we are dealing with, customers KYC and certain documents which needs to be fully secured. So, the guy thinking of getting into fintech or a digital environment needs to take care of ensuring the system is completely secured. And the fourth is, the UI, ease of use. That once you have everything built, how can you make it really easy to access to the end customer by click of a button? Because nowadays technology is the prime factor, but not the only factor. You need to ensure that the UI is so easy. And I have seen a lot of companies getting everything right, but the UI is so complicated, they end up losing their customer base. So I think these 4 points is something one should use as cornerstones and build their foundation on these points.
Very, very, very interesting, right? So if I means it's like a proprietary tool technology ecosystem at play, intuitive UI, phenomenal, right? So Ashok, the next question: which services do you believe can be focused on for improving the technology strategy of NBFCs?
Okay, I think this is really a good question because most of the NBFCs nowadays they claim that they are a truly fintech or digital lending NBFC companies. But like when we share the experience of our company, let's say Pressed Loans, the way we handle very, very small micro level businesses or entrepreneurs, we find that they are not really very, very tech savvy in a sense, right? Most of the people have built technology which is highly, highly focused on customer acquisition, or let us say in a way accessing the data of the customer and then approaching those customers for sales, marketing, branding, sending them SMS, sending them emails. Too much of marketing happening in that, right? Whereas in true sense, if you see NBFC operations, it is not just about customer acquisition or origination, but there is another important aspect, which is underwriting. So how much technology driven underwriting is being done is very important. I feel that it has not been reached at a stage where you can really find the ability to pay and also the intention to pay. Okay, so to some extent people have found the ability to pay by looking at their bank statement, GST, ITR, etc., and that part has got digitized to a larger extent. But the second part, where we really want to understand the intention to pay, is not really somewhere where technology has gone to a great extent, except some people doing some test or trying to find out the intention to pay. Third and most important aspect where technology has a lot to do from the customer data is the collection. I think in the last 1.5 year, people have seen, and we have Vijay here who is on the collections. I think there is very little which has been done by lending institutions, whether they are NBFCs or fintechs. Or fintechs are largely origination platforms, or even banks, let's say. So very little work has been done on the collection side. So I think there is a lot of work to be done on the collection, where you can access the data, read the data, analyze, and then try to understand what is the probability of the customer to pay you back. So there are many things are still to be done. I think larger work has focused on origination or acquisition of the customer and then sending them reminders, etc. But the rest two parts in terms of underwriting and also the collection, which is very, very important, and it is still a huge scope to be done there. We at Pressed Loans have tried there to some extent, but I think still a long way to go.
The next question, right, is about NBFCs who are commencing their journey on digitization or digitalization, whichever we may say. Vijay, what's your view? Where should they start their journey from? What would you recommend to them?
That's a very interesting question. Now, when it comes to an NBFC which is starting afresh, I would want to borrow the idea which Rachit shared at the beginning, where what is your product, what is it that you want to bring it to the table to the customer, and what is the technology that you want to bring in. Will it be an entire life cycle of the customer which will be on technology driven, or you want to start at some stage of like Ashok was saying, that you acquire the client and then you want to do the decisioning in a different way, or you're already an established NBFC, and because of the situation that we are in, whether you like it or not, you're pushed to go digital, at least on the collection front. You are not able to knock the door or the wallet of the client, but your technology can do that. So it depends on where the NBFC is, what stage of NBFC that is in currently, and where they want to start their journey. So if it is a fresh one, of course, everything starts from scratch. You have your drawing boards ready. And then if it is an established NBFC, depending on whether you want to start it with your collection part to improve your efficiency, or you want to scale up to use your, scale up the acquisition. So you want to start there, or you want to use it in your decisioning so that your tax get better, or you want to cut down on your verification time so that you use it in that space, or you take it progressively. You start with acquisition, then you verify, then decisioning, then loan management, and of course collection goes without saying. So I see it can happen at multiple stages depending on where you are and what you want to do at that stage.
It's like the whole the entire it's a clean slate, right? So almost all areas have avenues for improvisation.
Yes.
So if you are mature, then yes, still there are opportunities to evaluate artificial learning, machine learning algorithms, etc. Yes, point taken. Thank you. The next question is for you, Anish. My experience is when we've worked with NBFCs, they generally tend to have smaller budgets. What would be your advice for them to maximize their return on investments?
I think it's a very pertinent question. I think budget is a function of what is your targeted ROA or ROE, right? And I think the question to be asked is, what is the problem you're trying to solve with technology? Is it OPEX? Is it credit cost? Is it cost of acquisition? Or is it, something else? But between these 3-4 things, I think there are two things which I have found very important. A, given your strategy, do you have the right processes in place? I think technology is overrated. I'm sorry I'm making that statement, but even before you jump into technology, get your processes and customer requirements in place, or user requirements if it's for your internal users. But then on top of that, I think the world that we are living in, every 1 or 2 years, you'll have new developments coming. You have account aggregators and OCEN in the external environment. You've got blockchain and so many other things which are coming in. So that the CIOs and the CTOs will have their hands cut off. They'll say, okay, this is a fancy stuff. Let's try it out. The business guys will say, should we do it? Should we not? So the question is that why don't we build a platform approach? I think the old way of having a project approach where you had softwares and any NBFC you take, mid-size NBFC will have 20 to 30 softwares or applications going on simultaneously. You get so what we did is we actually went with a platform approach, and then you build microservices on top of it, because then you can plug and play variety of vendors and variety of services and APIs that come across. That reduces your cost of factoring, change, and reworking significantly less. Your time to market increases. I think that is one variable we often forget, that when you're launching a new product, if you can do it a year, 6 months faster, the incremental delta that you get on the revenue and the profitability side, that saves you the money. The third thing which I feel is very critical, and I think it will take up a lot of space nowadays, is the low code approach. Because with a low code technology development, your capex is much lesser and your ability to maneuver softwares is much faster. And finally, I think agile, that has worked very well for us. I've myself been a business guy, but I've myself certified and my whole team into Scrum, because what it does is it brings business and technology very close to each other. And that ensures that your projects do not get delayed and you are able to, make changes on the fly and come out with products or solutions or features which are really adding value, because you can't predict 1 year down the line, what's going to be required. You make a collection soft application today and suddenly your collection guys will come and say, I want to integrate voice bot here. What do I do? And you start reworking, right? So I think a platform approach with agile and a microservice led strategy, but before everything else, get your processes in place so that, you can have a very robust system in place. It really helps in the ROI.
to get your business strategy correct, right? Who is the persona whom you are going after, and what is that you are delivering it to them? What is the problem that you're trying to solve? Technology comes in later. That's your view.
Yeah, and using platform and agile. I think
Agreed.
that's a true approach.
Yes. Nowadays, we see the adoption of agile is significant. The prime reason you get to see things earlier, you get to make up your mind as well whether you want to continue investment, you do not want to continue investment. You can also crowdsource multiple information from your clients, right? From the users of your clients, what are the features that they would believe need to come in at what point in time, right? So it really helps. We've also executed, we've been executing, and most of the projects that we are executing today are with an agile delivery methodology. Definitely it helps. We have seen practical examples of it. My next question to you is, Mohit, given the disruption which has been caused by the pandemic, we've seen work from home, work from anywhere have become a de facto standard. There are several complications also associated with it. What's your analysis of the key challenges, and what are your recommendations?
Thanks, Amit. I think a very relevant question, and I think this is something which is discussed in every panel discussion these days. The word has changed. There's no doubt about it. And when it comes to technology, how technology has enabled this new world to continue to work is commendable. But let me also tell you, this is not as simple as it looks, like enabling work from home. The initial way was to give laptops back to the employees and start telling them to go and work from wherever you're working from. But that's not a scalable model. There are various challenges in this model, and specifically it starts from the way the IT was architected before this era. If you look at pre-pandemic, our companies like NBFCs, for example, you had built your infrastructures for data center to branches. You had your users sitting in branches, you had data center, and that's how the access was being done. Very few people were actually doing remote work, very few. But today, suddenly, if all your workforce has to work from home or wherever they are, it calls for a lot of changes. And challenges are specifically in terms of security, in terms of availability, in terms of visibility of what is happening, security tools, and obviously how do you give access to your enterprise applications on the unreliable networks on which these people are accessing your data. Now, to address this, initially, we were always in this business of enabling, mobile device management or, desktop as a service, desktop infrastructure management, etc. So we could easily, enable our customers. For example, the stock exchange in the country wanted 600 developers overnight to start working from home. So how do we enable that? So luckily we had the technology available, we could do it. But now if you look at future of work, there we have to make this a provision that, okay, hybrid is going to stay for long. So if hybrid is going to stay for long, forever, you may say, I think what Rachit mentioned, two words which are key. One is security, and second is a user experience. So our intention, our portfolio that we offer to our customers is basically built on these two premises. One is how do we make it consumer simple and enterprise secure? So whatever access we have to provide to our employees sitting outside of office today, how is it secure? How is it 100%? People call it zero trust security. And then how do we enable good experience to the people who are working from anywhere? So recently we launched a new integrated solution called Anywhere Workspace. If you would like to know more about it, you should Google about it. It is a first of its kind, completely integrated solution from data center to edge. How everything can be delivered securely. It's a combination of various products we had, and today it's available as something which can be deployed very easily and something which will help you build future workspace.
A follow-up question, what would be your recommendation for modernizing legacy landscapes as a response to pandemic? What would be your recommendation?
Yeah, of course, this is another brilliant question. I would say, see, if you look at the whole digital story, and Anish touched upon it, this thing very well, about microservices and how scale, agility, and things like that have come in. So it's all about applications. So whatever you do today for your customers, your employees, is all about modern applications, modern ways of doing your work and helping your customer do their work with you. So our focus has always been on three pillars, I would say, for digital foundation. One is your application and where this application is going to be run and how this application is going to be accessed. We came up with an idea called any app on any cloud and any device. So we focused on these three aspects of infrastructure. And today, what we do, what portfolio we have, we help our customers build applications. Then obviously, once you have built applications or modernized applications, you're using things like microservices, Kubernetes, containers, etc. Then you would need a platform to run these applications. So run them wherever you want to, whether it's an on-prem data center or on a public cloud. Then manage these applications with a single pane of glass, whether it is running on-prem or running on a cloud. You should have a management tool to manage these applications with a single console. And then finally, connect and protect. Basically, everything today has to be connected, means you have to have a robust network. So we have a networking portfolio to support that. We call it vCloud networks. And then finally, underlying thing, which is most important, is protect, which is security. It starts right from the data center to the device. So if you look at the whole portfolio end to end, from application to its access, everything is something which we address for our customers. But yes, modern applications where customers are looking at building applications which are ready for cloud, ready for scale, ready for being resilient as you need them to be in the modern era, is something which we very clearly defined as a space where we work closely with our customers.
That's interesting. So technology is a big differentiator, I must say, right? I would want to see your views on it, Rajit. What do you feel? What has been your experiences?
So thanks, Sumit. It's a very relevant question as far as I am concerned, because I run multiple companies, and the only headache I've ever got is when I'm building the platform and the technology. So, it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of brainstorming, sitting with the CTOs, CIOs, designing the UI. But after doing everything, I feel technology you can leverage if you want to scale up your business. But it can't be the only growth factor. And I can assure you that fellow panelists will also agree with me. Technology helps you acquire customers, understand their data, understand their habits, machine learning, AI. But end of the day, your technology needs to solve a problem for the customer. If your technology is solving a problem, like Swiggy and Zomato would be a great example to give. They are technology companies, but end of the day, they have solved the problem of a customer by delivering something at their doorstep. I am a big believer that alone technology will not do any good to you. But if you have the right business model backed with technology, you can leverage it. You can solve consumers' problem. You can have the UI built in such an easy manner that by just doing few clicks, the customer can actually buy a product or a service. Then you have, significantly turned the tables, and you can leverage that in order to scale up. So that is my sense, in order to penetrate well in the market, definitely utilize technology, but it cannot be the only source for your business driver or your business growth. There has to be a lot of things which are going parallelly, running parallelly within that technology framework, and only then the business model can grow rapidly.
Cannot agree more. Perfectly, you sum it up very well. Ashok, what's your view on that?
So I think similar view, but I will give you maybe perhaps one or two examples in this regard, especially with reference to our business where we cater to small businesses. I found that since they are not very tech savvy, so how efficiently I can use the technology so that it is very, very easy for them. That UI is very easy for them. One of them was that you see normally the NBFC companies have long application form which they need to fill up. So idea is nowadays you can have a excellent OCR technology which can read everything. So if I ask him to, okay, you upload your PAN card, then upload Aadhaar card, and then upload cancel check or check, let us say. These three things give me complete information as far as a loan application is concerned. And my idea is they should just upload the picture. So let us say the customer need not to type even a single letter. They just click, and you get the application form completed in your sense. With this, as an NBFC company, I can extract entire information, I can verify the information, and I can even run my credit bureau on that and get lot more information about the applicant or the customer, where I don't need to ask him even a single question. So if this is so easy in a way, right? Look like easy, but maybe on the back end, lot of work to be done. This is how the technology should be. Number one. Two, the ultimate use for me technology of the technology should be to increase the efficiency. So I am little against using technology for marketing purpose. As a matter of fact, I use that if I can improve the efficiency in terms of getting the things done faster. Whereas now the expectation is that 59 minutes, few minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. So if I'm able to improve the efficiency in case of small ticket MSME loans to, I will say, even 1 day, right? That is the expectation of customer, and where we need to meet those expectations because the competition is really tough. So that is possible only by good platform, good technology, where you are able to analyze lot many things simultaneously. So not that you do one thing, then second, then third, but maybe 3, 4, 5 things are running simultaneously. And that is only possible when you have absolute use of technology in terms of using your ML, using AI, along with that, improving the efficiency internally, I mean, for the organization. So lot many things to be done, good scope for improving or building a tech platform, especially in the NBFC space.
The most important thing, I believe, is the intuitive interface.
Yeah, I think yes.
Thank you.
At least I can say that in case of our customers, because I know if there is an English application form of say 5, 6 pages, they don't know how to fill, what to fill, and they really do not understand all those authorizations we are taking. So it is good that they find it very, very useful or easy to use.
Probably support for vernacular, the way you said, right? If
yes,
the entire
yes, we do at least one vernacular means Hindi, at least, so they understand the basic ideas that what you are asking for or why you are asking for.
Very good. Thank you. In times of so these are times where things are changing day in, day out. We're talking about continuous improvement, continuous deployment. We're also talking about continuous transformation. Why continuous transformation? Because the new challenges, the new opportunities, and the new technologies. Vijay, what's your view on modernizing legacy applications and infrastructures?
See, the first thing that comes to my mind when we think of continuous transformation, erstwhile, prior to the kind of technology that we're using or the kind of business that we're doing, we were trying to build the physical infrastructure, trying to relay out, try and how many people can I accommodate so that, the lot many work can be done from the same space. Today, we are kind of drawing that on the technology thing. How soon can my technology improve the efficiency, help in decision making, or achieve whatever the organization wants to do in terms of scaling up? And this is very dynamic, right? So like Mohit said, that I have a solution which is, sometime back it was not possible. Today you can work securely from home. So they're enabling something new, and we have to continuously adopt and embrace that so that we are ready to the market, providing security and the swift that is required to be relevant in the market.
Thank you. Anish, what would be your recommendation for modernizing legacy applications?
I have a view that what you define legacy itself has to be examined. Right? Because
okay, yes. So largely, the way you said, right? If you would want to go for a platform-based approach, so probably tool technology of yesteryears, SaaS products, non-platform. That's what my view would be. I leave it to you to define it now.
Yeah, and I would add the core banking systems in it, right? Even if you look at your basic accounting and all. And I think the challenge is I think you have to split it into two parts. What do you want to modernize? I think things which will undergo rapid changes, which is your origination systems, collection, customer acquisition, CRM, I think those need to be highly configurable. But your accounting standards don't change every overnight, and most of the systems allow you, right? So I think some core systems need not change as fast, unless, of course, there's a rapid shift in the environment. Like blockchain, for example, is something that can impact your core systems tremendously, but it's a long way away from becoming a new normal. The other thing that I think I would want to borrow from the Indian market, and I think that's where there's a huge of Rachit is talking about UI and very digital savvy customers, and some of our other panelists are talking about, like Ashok, talking about consumers trying to get adapted to technology. I think in India, is going to be a phygital market. And as an NBFC or any organization, you have to figure out which space you're operating in. And dependent on that, you'll have to decide what's your right modernization strategy. Because look at what's happened post-COVID. You see, after the lockdowns have opened, people have rushed to malls or rushed to marketplaces. Why? We as humans inherently are not going to go completely 100% online. India is not Europe, I think. And then if you look at the demographic pyramid also, if you take away the top 10 crore population, or if you take away the top 1 crore of 50 lakh of MSMEs, 80% of them are not digitally savvy. Let alone that, they don't even have proper smartphone access. They struggle to log into the GST portals. So I think keeping all of that in mind, we have to understand that it's a journey. And if you're talking about transformation, it's going to be a 20, 30-year journey. But unlike previous times where it used to take 5 years, 6 years of episodes to happen, I think the episodes are going to be much more frequent, and every 1-2 years we'll have to come up with something. And that's why I feel divide your stacks, and do a lot of POCs, because a lot of things don't work. You have a certain hypothesis and it doesn't work. So fail fast, fail early is going to be the mantra. And I think for continuous improvement to happen, it's not just technology teams. I think the biggest challenge is for the business teams to be adaptable, because I think a lot of business folks are looking at improvement in terms of strategy and other things. But I think when it comes to adapting your processes, operations, and the digital tools or assets that you use, I think that's where people assume that it's a given. Wo to ho jayega. I think that's the biggest mistake that one can make. So it has to go hand in hand.
Ashish, in your previous comment, you mentioned that technology is overrated, and you're depending on so much on technology to improve efficiencies. So what's your comment on that?
Yeah, I just said it's overrated to bring a certain context to it. Everybody is talking technology. I'm a business guy with who I think has a digital mindset. But fundamentally, if you don't know what you want to do, I have seen so many boardroom conversations also where the questions have been: are we a tech company or are we a lending company with a tech mindset? So many of us have heard these conversations in different leadership meetings. I think deciding the why. I think identifying the why in today's world is very, very complex, because you have multiple niches in customer segments. It's no longer a vanilla approach. And I think the second thing is, you see, there's a technology for every problem. You give a problem and there'll be some way to solve it. But the question is that scalable? And is it unit economics friendly? And is it relevant to your customer groups? And that is where you have to make trade-offs. For that to be enabled, you need to have right processes in place. Otherwise, you'll end up digitizing things. And then after 1 year, you will look back and say, oh, boss, my digital transformation has failed. It hasn't given me enough what I wanted. So that's why I'm saying it's overrated, not because technology, I'm against it. I'm just saying that business guys need to have a lot more conversation on am I equipped to use the technology? Otherwise, it's like trying to drive a Ferrari on Mumbai roads. You'll have everything, but you're stuck in traffic jams.
Which is correct, right? Because one of the tenets of Agile is there is no business, there is no IT, right? So both are merged into one. I believe that's the direction which you believe is the right way to go forward.
I would believe that. I would believe that, at least parts of it, if not fully.
Sure. Mohit, question for you. Rising levels of cybercrime manfort. What has been your approach for fortifying organizations?
Yeah, thanks, Sumit. This is a very important question. In fact, everybody is talking about IT, business processes, and agility, resiliency. So many things we hear, and obviously, business wants to be first. Like we heard somebody talking about the cost of being late in the market. How do you go back to your customers? You be the first in doing few things. What has happened in this race for being first to do few things? Sometimes security aspect of the workload or the digital, the theme that we bring to the market is not taken very well care of. While I'm sure each one of the NBFCs or any organization has a function called CISO, who is definitely looking after the security aspect of everything that you do in your IT. But IT is such a complex thing that it's a race between the bad guys and the good guys, and usually the bad guys are faster than good people. So somebody said that there can be only two things that can happen: you are already hacked, or you don't know you are hacked. So one of these two things would have happened. And if you look at the latest data, 93% increase in the ransomware attacks in last 6 months, which is alarming. And you've heard about so many pharma companies, and these bad guys have no ethics. They don't understand people are suffering, so not do these things at this times, but still they're up to some kind of nuance or other. And you saw pharma companies, healthcare companies, and the companies who were actually required to be much more active, logistics companies, they were attacked during last 9 months. Our philosophy, Sumit, has been very, I would say, unique to security, because we never said that. If you look at the security landscape, for those who understand the IT, infrastructure, would appreciate this thing very well. That if you look at, say, your server vendors, you may have one or two. If you look at your storage vendors, you may have one, at the most two. If you look at network, again, one or two. When it comes to security, you'll have hundreds of vendors. It's like going to a doctor and telling him, give me a medicine to be healthy. So doctor would say, to be healthy for this organ, you need this medicine, and probably you'll have to take 500 medicines to be healthy. But 500 medicines is not the way you can survive. So there has to be some other way of doing it. And the other way is, can we improve our diet itself? Can we change the way we eat? This is an analogy I'm giving. And this is similar to what we say. We say how we can make security intrinsic to everything that we do in IT. So whether it is a workload part, or going to cloud, or end user, or accessing application on end device. So make security a thought before it becomes an afterthought. So if you look at the portfolio that we have today, while we can talk about it for a long time, but just to give you a gist, we have looked at security from 4 different aspects. One is the end user side, which is endpoint security. We have a solution called Carbon Black, which we recently acquired around 1.5 years back, and it's doing wonders because it comes with something unique, which is called end user threat detection and response, EDR, if you've heard of that, which is behavior of users and how it captures that and helps you in preventive management of security on the endpoint side. If you look at the side of networks, we always had something called NSX, which actually defines the way your network should behave. How do you micro-segment your workloads? How you manage the traffic inside a data center, east-west traffic, north-south traffic, so that you don't compromise security in a data center. Then it comes to clouds. Now everybody is talking about multi-cloud. You're running in one cloud, second cloud. How do you have security across these clouds, which is managed, which is automated, which is to the scale that you need? So we have a solution area called Cloud Health in that space. And obviously on the device side, which is most critical, where you access your applications on your iPads, on your mobile phones, on your laptops, etc. We need to have a very secure way of accessing enterprise applications, and that is enabled by a solution called Workspace ONE. So these are 4 aspects of security, and all of these, the fundamental is that how do you make security intrinsic to your workloads and the way you work instead of making it an afterthought.
Interesting views. I would now ask you for your recommendation, your guidance to people who follow you, because you've been market leaders, you've been CX level executives of your firms, right? One key thing, shortest possible time in 30 seconds, would you recommend to the viewers of this this panel? We go in the same way. Rachit, to you, a 30-second sum up.
So I would recommend the viewers to spend a lot of time developing the platform, the basis of technology, but do not waste any time in case the plugin pins, APIs are available in the market. So build a beautiful system, but only focus on the core, which is the platform, which is the heart of your system. Keep it proprietary, keep it like your secret sauce. Rest of the things, just get it integrated quickly, make your system agile, keep it dynamic, keep plug and play system in your hands, so that when the scenario changes, you can instantly change your APIs and change the entire framework. So that is my submission.
I would like to say that build it for the 80% of the MSMEs who are the bottom of the pyramid, because everything in the tech is being built looking at the top 20%, top 20 cities, top 20 kind of people who are like a lot tech savvy in terms of having email and very high end smartphone. Lot many people are not even accessing email every day. Many of them do not have email IDs. So the tech has to be built keeping in mind those people
Has to
who
be
are not tech savvy.
democratized.
So can you build something where you can actually support, help, and service the bottom pyramid of MSME segment? So have it somewhere you can use do things without email, without a high-end smartphone. That will be the real support to MSME sector.
Anish, your views?
So I'll just put a word cloud out. I think number one, focus on digitalization on and not digitization. Number two, be very clear which part of the value chain you want to focus. You can be a physically heavy business and yet be digitally enabled. So make your strategic choices well. Think platform, don't think softwares. Bet big on open APIs and microservices, and think agile, adopt agile. And finally, technology is not CTO's business, it is everybody's business.
I believe we have, Vijay, have you spoken as well?
No, I have not, but I'm not a technology guy, not that I understand much of it, but I have one simple thought. And I think any platform or any technology has to be fluid, which gives you room for continuous improvement as things develop. It should not curtail your progress because of the platform that you've chosen. I think that's the only thing that my observation is.
Agreed. So that's the point which has resonated very well, right? So the point is focus on your business, focus on whom you are serving, why you are serving, what are you serving. And at the end of the day, platform approach works well, right? Have something proprietary with you. But yes, the focus on UI, UX, CX, right? That's also phenomenally important. Lot many takeaways. Anything from you, Mohit, as I wrap up?
Yeah, so while everybody has summed it up pretty well, but I just want to add emphasis on the fact that it's all about the foundation that you build for your digital platform, or the way you architect beneath in terms of how do you run your IT today is going to be critical. Whether it is security or it is scalability, resiliency, business continuity, all those things are very critical, because ultimately experience of your customers, experience of your employees is all going to be dependent on how you build the foundation. And as a company, while it's not to do with technology, but the theme that our CEO drives is two-pronged. One is always remain innovative in terms of products which you come up with. So basically, continue to innovate every day. And second is always remain customer obsessed. So what your customers need. So always think about them first before you come out with any new product or a service. So this is the principle on which we all work. And I think that resonates with all the panelists here. And I'm very happy to hear their views today. Thank you so much.
Many thanks for your views. I now hand it over to Manoj.
Yes, thank you, Sunil. Thank you, everyone. Wonderful discussion, so precise, so concise, so crisp. There's clear focus on technology in terms of proprietary technology and APIs and platforms. Business focus is clearly there, which has always been there for the NBFCs, which is the reason for their success as such. So thank you, everyone. Wonderful discussion. Loved it. What else
Thank
can
you
I
so
say?
much.
Thanks.
Thank you, Manoj. Thanks a lot. It was a pleasure being there.
Pleasure. Wonderful.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you all.